transport lines started. Still a little buggy because I just got the first anchor points set. The logic's not completely defined yet, but the code logic is, but the definition of what each anchor point maps to is not defined yet. I only have the half hex. This goes here, 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 or here, and then this one is supposed to be diagonal for cross hex. If I skip the centroid when I'm mapping, if I go say from this point to this point, it's supposed to draw that, but it's supposed to line up. I don't have that configured yet, but that's what's supposed to do. I got to clean up my textures now, and I have all of these transport types to define. I got maritime, which is an overlay, not always visible like a road or a rail line. That's an overlay. It's a line. It's a context for cartographic context coordinate placement. It's a figurative line. It's invisible. It doesn't. It's like the Milky Way, or the Big Dipper rather. The Big Dipper isn't literally connected by intergalactic matter. It's not a literal dipper. It's an astronomer's articulation of or relation of it's a way to measure points and organize. I got oil pipeline. I got standard rails, narrow gauge trenches will be mapped like transport now for nice fluid mapping. No more center hex, one size fits all kind of trench mapping, and that way you can literally you could like entrench this entire road line just on the outside of the road. You have an entire defensive barrier right in front of the road or on it. I do the same thing with Dragon's Teeth, landing traps, which line beaches. And what these layers do is they're a little different than actual units. They're not really susceptible to indirect fire or damage. You actually have to have a crew that either demolishes these upgrades or you have to own them and manually do it yourself from the controls when you're in the game. They'll all provide like a light bonus or a penalty to various statistics that are defined in this particular type of units file. Like Dragon's Teeth will provide like a universal penalty for movement and a slight boost for defensibility for the person that owns the hex that contains the Dragon's Teeth, and similar to that with but with more dramatic defense effects for troops that are entrenched in a trench, um, etc. Like, it'll provide like a point where this hex will have compromised. Like if I have like tank traps lining this beach, and somebody goes to land on that beach, the enemy is going to experience a drop in efficiency and and movement and response statistics will be penalized as well. Therefore, you could utilize your defensive networks by strategically placing units behind or in the defensive bounds of where that particular infrastructure is placed, and you'll be able to capitalize in some capacity on your enemy's compromised state until they are able to either demolish or have like a spy, a preemptive strike, have like a task force, like set charges to blow it the hell up and get rid of it. You could actually assume control over the removal of it, which will be accounted for. It has a build time and that has a removal time that is factored into that file and the way those statistics are designed. So you can have like a covert operation that would have to dismantle that to remove it. So you could effectively land there without penalties, or you could just spearhead it and use the tactics of attrition, just repeated blows to that point until you finally break through it and own it, and then you can remove it manually. But while it exists against you, it will penalize your units. It'll disrupt the supply chain at varying degrees for both whether you own it or whether you or going up against it, because it'll be essentially like Dragon's Teeth will be like blocking a road. So you'll get the supply penalty whether you own it or whether you're an opponent attacking that hex. So that makes it say that you want to utilize those defensive those defensive lines and barrier placements strategically. You don't want to put them everywhere because it will have a negative impact internally on your supply lines and ability to maneuver wherever they exist, even if you own the hexes. So it's everything's got a defined purpose, and it fits into the web of the way these units and their statistics factor into the gameplay to make it interesting. And there are no factors that are overlooked in regard to adding features to the game that would then prevent, or that would then create like hacks, like where you build these everywhere and they give you a bonus and there's no drawback. Everything's got to have a drawback, so it's not over consumed. So therefore, that's the drawbacks that are developing for these various options that you have for creating defensive barriers and networks and whatnot in the game. That's only part of the game. That's the military side of it. Economically, I got the maritime routes and the air corridors. The air corridors will be for the AI to use during peacetime. They'll abide by a strict air transit route, similar to like the way we do in real life. During war, they'll adapt that pathing logic, and it will become more dynamic and per engagement what's going on the map at that particular time. So effectively, as a human, you could either utilize the auto set transit mapping routes for air transit out of convenience, because it'll be a neat layout of waypoints that will keep your transit mapping organized and easy to manage. And during war, you could take full control over, your own setting your own routes based on circumstances that you need. Effectively, you could still travel any hex of the map. You could set units to use any route that is available on the map at any point in time. These will exist primarily for AI use, and they can also be used by the human if you want to. There will be hundreds of them. There will be hundreds of maritime routes and hundreds of air transport routes. They're going to be very easy to set, and they won't be visible unless you click the overlay that reveals them. Like I said, the AI will use them constantly during peacetime, and then each nation has its defined bounds. So if an AI goes to war with a nation, then the grid adapts. That section becomes unavailable, and it cuts out those routes and makes them unusable, which will make that section of the map that they're at war with open. They'll approach it, deterministically or whatever. The AI will apply logic and reason from that point forward via either historically prescribed events or through AI defined principles and points of logic and reason that it will be able to utilize in the game to make tactical or strategic decisions. So there's a lot of cool features that are coming, and I'm just getting started. Let's check.